Welcome back. Thanks for liking and subscribing. On listen, them catch Rattigan in our own rat trap before, but the only problem is he can get to it. He get to it. Who else granny used to tell them to take sleep mark dead. So long before we became aware of Rattigan and before Rattigan became the man who Jamaica is now wondering where all these protests coming from. This is a Jamaican born in Waterhouse and did very, very well for himself. Went to the United States at a young age and became an FBI agent, an attorney at law. So basically, he did try to get the job that Owen Ellington left behind. They turned him down. In 2014, he applied. He wasn't even shortlisted for the interview. So Fame remark now is that something else must in this situation here. Him can't understand why. So in addition to the lawsuit that where him lose against Kamina, which may go into some interesting details. Remember say this man here filed lawsuit against Robert Morgan, the former information minister, who came out and said that he was dishonorably discharged from the FBI, and he defended it. The man apologized, but him still instructed his attorney, Isaac Buchanan, to proceed with the case. The same way the man proceed with the court case, and the same way we want to like and subscribe,
I love it. You guys are so great.
So there's a pattern going on right here, so so me I go into that third one here as a bonus. So this is a case back in 2011 that Rattigan won against the FBI. He reported some of his superiors because of racial discrimination and other things. They decided to retaliate against him and launch a false investigation on him while he was in Saudi Arabia working. Reports came back and the findings were not favorable to Rattigan. So he filed a suit and he won the case. The findings of the case was that them basically should not have investigated him and they basically only took retaliatory action against him. So, well done, Rattigan. You never see smoke without fire, That was in 2011. So just imagine in a 2014 with he's a very educated man. So with such an impressive record, you can imagine little Jamaica, not even a short list Rattigan. I don't think Rattigan was even thinking about all the people who've been working hard in Jamaica and they're waiting in the wings for their promotion and so on. I think he was just focusing on the fact that he's so qualified, he's basically overqualified for the job, and he's spoken at length about how much more qualified he is than pretty much everybody that's responsible for national security. The long and the short. May I go play a recording now with Will Rattigan speaking 3 months ago in 2024. So one of the key things to remember in this case, is that the PMP was in power at the time when his application for the top cop position was rejected. This Rattigan knows attack.
We don't. Look at the Minister of National Security. The Minister of National Security, what's his qualification? Medical doctor. No law enforcement experience. The junior minister, the former athlete, her name escapes me now. What's her name? She came over from the Ministry of Health. Cuthbert Flynn. Right. She has zero law enforcement experience. Look at the permanent secretary. She came over from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Zero law enforcement experience. Look at the police commissioner. Zero law enforcement, as far as I'm concerned, zero law enforcement experience. No. Mama used to tell me, say, self-praise is no recommendation. But me have to recommend myself now. Take all four of them, and count them years of law enforcement experience. And we surpass them all. By far. And not only me, there's somebody there in the JCF called Rowan James.
Yes, sir.
Him surpass all of them by far. There are qualified people in the JCF, but they're not being given opportunity. Right? So how can you expect results in terms of the crime issue when you have people here who don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. By the way, and let me just throw this out for in 2015, the last time the PNP...
1 year after the rejection.
I'm not making an argument for them. I'm just looking at the statistics. 2015, the murder rate was 1,208. 2016,
Andrew?
the Prime Minister started talking about Plan Secure Jamaica and started spending money. In fact, the Minister of National Security proclaimed that he's spending 1.2 billion US dollars on doing what? Transforming the JCF and the Ministry of National Security. Where is that transformation? Dr. Ivy talked about the consensus monitoring on crime. I'm very familiar with that, and Mr. Distant and his program. And you're right, Dr. Ivy. Every time you hear them talk, they talk about missing benchmarks, right? So 1208, 2015, and you come in and this is why I'm so passionate about this. 1208, and you coming up and you say, I'm going to spend 1.2 billion from fiscal year 2016 to fiscal year 2023. And you can't get it down to where you get it, where it was handed over to you. Worse yet, and this is a point that's gonna drive the nail in the coffin. We're worried now about 0.01% of the crime committed in Jamaica against tourists. Meanwhile, upwards of 1,350 of us were slaughtered last year. Where is the outcry? The American government put a little travel advisory upon them, and they didn't increase it. It was always a 3. It was a 3 since March of 2022. And now we see where the ambassador now she had a meeting today over at State Department trying to convince them to amend it. We see where the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade went to the ambassador over at the U.S. Embassy trying to get them to change it. And we see all of this thing. Them even blame us. Them call us. We're now known as the Dirty 30. The 30 people who caused the State Department to enhance the travel advisory. But I'm saying, where is that outcry for the 13 plus 100, 1,300, whatever people who died last year in Jamaica? We are killing ourselves about 0.01 of the crime committed in Jamaica against tourists. We killing ourselves. Where is the outcry for our people?
I want to ask you a question.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Mr. Will, he made mention of me in his presentation, so I'd like to defend myself.
I withdraw. So you can go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
All right, let me answer this now.
The challenge is coming.
I'm going to give you a minute, Sir Ron. Dr. Paul Ivy allude to the fact that there's many...
So as you can hear, Rattigan still have that situation upon his mind, you know. He had many of us believing that it was the fact that his application was rejected for the police commissioner job, why there was an issue, you know. But the rabbit hole goes much deeper. In a 2022, when Kamina was running for General Secretary of the Commonwealth, Rattigan put some money down to the sum of about $99,000. Now what him do is him give Kamina enough money just to make sure money that's supposed to be declared to the Integrity Commission. This money was supposed to be a gift. So Will had a claimant, and he says it's on behalf of him and the Diaspora. I want to go hear some more about that. So the respondents were Kamina Johnson-Smith, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Ministry of Finance, and the Public Service. So, in a nutshell, the money never did declare the tax administration and the Integrity Commission and so on. So the long and the short is that he took the matter to court and he lost the battle because when it came down to it, he realized that Kamina was acting on behalf of the government. So Will ended up losing in that situation. So this is what came of the case that he lost. Jamaican-born retired American Special Agent Wilfred Rattigan provided no authority from any Jamaican in the diaspora to file his failed lawsuit against Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, a High Court judge, has ruled. Justice Dale Staple invoked the words of the hit song Deportee by Jamaica's Grammy-winning musician Buju Banton as he dismissed Rattigan's lawsuit related to a multi-million-dollar corporate donation to Johnson Smith's failed bid for the post of Commonwealth Secretary General. The diaspora is a vast body of people spread over nearly every continent in the world, yet there is not one line, letter, or 50-cent stamp from anyone giving him authority to represent them, Staple wrote in his 23-page judgment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see what the real problem is right now? You see the real problem right now? The money. And note, the first time the police commissioner thing, he lost under the PMP. This time, it's the JLP that he's taking a loss to. So, you look on the trap you now. Provided the gift and then waited months for the finance ministry to respond to an ATI or access to information as he requested details about the payment, including the related gift acceptance and due diligence report detailing the source of the funds. So basically, he send the gift not with good intention, but just to see what is going to be done because he wanted to prove corruption. So when I hear him talking about corruption, now one of the things, is that him say the funds came from a corporate Jamaica and the diaspora. So it makes you wonder, who are the people in corporate Jamaica who are likely to set up something? So the Integrity Commission was naming this, Now, anybody have any idea which political party the Integrity Commission is aligned to? And who are some of the people who set it up and why they did it? Remember, alright, I'm going to show you something. And make sure to hit the like button now. Some people are going to get lost on this one. But Omar Davies was the guy who was there during the FinSac time. And this writer was asking the question way back in 2010 if these guys benefited from largesse or gifts under Omar Davies' watch. So, because of what happened during FinSac, way in 2017, them set up the Integrity Commission. Now, who are the people behind this whole commission, and what did they want to ensure? That fairness through government contracts and everything was being done. So now, whoever the Integrity Commission is linked to, we understand that what's going on, why this big interest on Andrew's assets and so on. Could it be that the big fight that we're seeing right now is about Andrew is now benefiting from all these wonderful things that used to happen way back in the day, and they set this up to catch Andrew to benefit themselves because for them own people are running? It's just a question. Does it bring anything to mind? No, as I said, follow the money. So here in the case now, I can read this online. It is interesting to note that the claimant Rattigan has only said that he has a legitimate interest to bring this claim as a Jamaican. He has not elaborated on what special damage he has suffered or will suffer as a consequence of any of the alleged breaches by the respondents. So the real question is, in this particular matter with Kamina, whose behalf was this guy really acting on? Now, when I look on this placard here, which I was wondering what it really means. You see, when Rattigan lost the suit, he made a comment that basically we're saying to them as the diaspora. He used the statement. They're basically saying that we can send more money, but we must have a say as to what goes on in Jamaica. So basically we're seeing that Rattigan has taken a lot of losses and he is bitter. So this placard here, so now we say diaspora is more than barrel sender. It's not really legitimate people who are send barrel to their family members and friends, you know. From my point of view, that this is a way to appeal to people to get a following behind him so he can build traction. Because when he started all of this, he never had anybody to back him on what he was doing. Again, whose behalf is he acting on? This guy cannot be trusted at all. Is this guy an enemy of the state? May I go have to follow up on a video here, you know, but may I have to go put up that one here. So, bitterness in the wilderness. Somebody write the article here, you know. In the article, them basically detail their actions, smearing the Prime Minister's name. Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Well, those are sound words. But from what I see right here, so, you know, it look like a lot of people are just pawns in a game that has nothing to do with them. They are being riled up. And all of this is happening around election time. So, I don't know, you know, but to the Prime Minister, I would say, shore up your security and ensure that across dotting the I's and crossing the T's, because in this political climate, they are no joke. So with all this rallying, remember, so we not talk about the fact that every time the Prime Minister keep a diaspora thing right now, he's running one. He's talked about the fact that the Prime Minister's own is failing. We saw the other day that it's meeting or exceeding expectations. So it's a barrage of thing, but I don't trust this man, Mr. Rattigan. And I hope that what I put out there, it will open somebody's eyes to at least do their own research. We can't convince anybody against their will enough. Somebody put the other day in my comment that, Andrew is a good Prime Minister for the country. And if we vote him out, God is going to let us pay here. So let us pray for our leader. That's one of the things I'll say. Like, share, and subscribe. Steady.